Scientists just discovered a way to live 8 extra hours every day without sleeping any less. Researchers at Northwestern University proved something that seemed impossible. During specific sleep phases, your brain can experience hours of conscious living in just a few minutes of real time. I'm not talking about imagination or distorted memories. I'm talking about complete, detailed experiences that you actually live through. Dr. Ken Paller and his team achieved something revolutionary. They established real-time communication with people who were asleep and dreaming. Through specific eye signals, they confirmed that lucid dreamers can live experiences lasting subjective hours within minutes of REM sleep. Think about that dream where you spent an entire day living a completely different life, where you had long conversations, visited places in detail, experienced complex relationships. You woke up exhausted, as though you'd actually lived through all of it. Then you realized you'd only slept a few hours. That's not coincidence. It's not exaggerated imagination either. Your brain has a natural ability to dilate time during sleep in ways science is only beginning to understand. And this discovery is completely changing how we think about what it means to live and how we can expand our conscious experience. For decades, we believed dream time corresponded to real time. Some experiments showed that counting to 10 in a dream took the same time as counting while awake. But recent research reveals this temporal correspondence is far more complex and fascinating. Before we go further, it's worth hitting subscribe and turning on notifications. YouTube's algorithm only delivers scientific content at this level to people who show genuine interest, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Because what scientists discovered about time perception during dreams can literally double the amount of conscious experiences you have during your lifetime. Imagine being able to live decades of experiences in just a few hours of sleep, learning skills, solving complex problems, experiencing entire scenarios that enrich your understanding of life. Dr. Daniel Erlacher from the University of Bern conducted precise experiments measuring how long specific actions take in dreams versus reality. The results are mind-blowing. Motor tasks in dreams consistently take longer to complete from the dreamer's perspective, but occupy less real sleep time. It's as if the brain has an internal mechanism that allows expanding conscious experience beyond the physical limitations of linear time. A person can dream of walking for hours through a city, having detailed and meaningful experiences, while physically spending only 15 minutes in REM sleep. Notice something intriguing. You've probably experienced this time dilation without consciously realizing it. Those dreams where you lived months or years of an alternate life, where you remember specific details of relationships, jobs, places that never existed in your waking reality. These aren't chaotic fantasies of a brain randomly reorganizing memories. They're genuine, conscious experiences happening on an expanded temporal scale. And most fascinating, these experiences can be as rich and meaningful as any waking experience. Neuroscience is discovering that during certain REM phases, specific brain areas responsible for time perception function completely differently. It's like there's a turbo mode of consciousness that allows processing experiences at accelerated speed. But here's the problem that traditional sleep science couldn't solve. Why do some people report living entire lifetimes in single dream sessions? In 2018, a software engineer from Seattle documented something extraordinary. During what he measured as a 45-minute nap, he experienced what felt like 3 full years of life as a medieval blacksmith. He remembered learning the craft, building relationships in the village, even aging and developing arthritis in his hands. When he woke up, he could still recall the specific techniques for forging horseshoes that he'd never learned in real life. Coincidence? Hardly. Sleep laboratories across America are documenting similar cases, and researchers are starting to take these temporal anomalies seriously. Dr. Emmanuel Mignot at Stanford's Sleep Medicine Center, the world's first sleep clinic, has been investigating what he calls experiential time dilation during REM sleep. His team discovered that certain brain networks, particularly those involving the prefrontal cortex and angular gyrus, can create extended conscious experiences that feel completely real to the dreamer. The breakthrough came when researchers realized they were asking the wrong question. Instead of, how long do dreams last? They should have been asking, how much can be experienced within a dream? UCLA's groundbreaking study, published in Nature, revealed that individual neurons in the human brain fire in patterns that directly mirror the structure of our experiences. During REM sleep, these same neurons can replay and reorganize these patterns at dramatically accelerated speeds, creating the subjective experience of extended time periods. Think of your brain as a biological movie projector. During waking hours, it plays experiences at normal speed, but during certain sleep phases, it switches to a different mode, one that can compress years of subjective experience into minutes of real time. Dr. Itzhak Fried's research shows that the brain doesn't just passively experience this time dilation. It actively constructs detailed, coherent narratives that can span decades of subjective time. These aren't fragmented dream sequences. They're complete life experiences with emotional depth, character development, and logical consistency. But here's where it gets really interesting. People who experience these extended dream lives often wake up with skills, insights, or emotional resolutions they didn't have before sleeping. The neuroscience behind this is fascinating. During REM sleep, the default mode network, the brain areas responsible for self-reflection and narrative construction, actually becomes more active than during waking hours. It's like your consciousness gets supercharged, able to process and integrate experiences at superhuman speeds. Dr. Chow's research at Harvard revealed that REM sleep creates what she calls a third state of consciousness, distinct from both sleep and wakefulness. In this state, the brain achieves levels of connectivity and processing power that exceed normal waking consciousness. Here's the first major problem most people face. They can't access this extended time experience consciously. The temporal dilation happens, but they're not aware they're dreaming during it. The solution lies in developing lucid dreaming skills. When you become conscious within these time-dilated dreams, you can actively participate in and direct these extended experiences. Imagine being able to live through years of learning, growth, and exploration every single night. Recent studies show that lucid dreamers develop permanent changes in brain connectivity, particularly between the anterior prefrontal cortex and areas responsible for self-awareness. It's like developing a new cognitive muscle that allows conscious access to accelerated experience processing. But there's a second problem. Most people don't know how to maintain consciousness during these extended dream experiences. The temporal distortion itself can be so disorienting that it breaks lucidity. Research from the University of Bern provides a solution. Temporal anchoring techniques. By establishing regular time checks within the dream, simple actions that take predictable amounts of time, lucid dreamers can maintain awareness even during extreme temporal dilation. The technique works because motor actions in dreams follow different temporal rules than passive experiences. While you might subjectively experience months of dream life, physical actions like counting or walking maintain more consistent timing relationships. Here's something that will blow your mind. Stanford's sleep labs are now using real-time communication with lucid dreamers to study these temporal effects as they happen. Dreamers can signal researchers from within time-dilated dream states, providing unprecedented data about consciousness during accelerated experience processing. The implications are staggering. We're not just talking about entertainment or curiosity. We're talking about a natural brain function that could revolutionize learning, problem-solving, and personal development. Consider this. Traditional meditation masters spend decades developing insights about consciousness and reality. But what if you could access those same contemplative states and live through years of meditative experience in a single night of sleep? Drop a time in the comments if you've ever had a dream that felt like it lasted way longer than the actual sleep time. I want to see how common this experience really is, because what we're discovering is that temporal dilation in dreams isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. Your brain has evolved the ability to compress vast amounts of experiential learning into short periods of sleep. But here's the third problem. The modern lifestyle actively suppresses these natural abilities. Sleep deprivation, irregular schedules, and poor sleep hygiene block access to the deeper REM phases where extreme temporal dilation occurs. MIT's research on sleep optimization shows that certain conditions dramatically increase the likelihood of experiencing extended dream time. Temperature control, consistent sleep schedules, and specific nutritional timing can enhance the brain's natural time dilation capabilities. The solution involves treating sleep as seriously as any other performance-enhancing practice. Elite athletes optimize their training. We need to optimize our consciousness expansion during sleep. Advanced sleep laboratories are now developing protocols that can reliably induce time-dilated dream states. Using targeted light therapy, temperature manipulation, and even magnetic stimulation, researchers can guide sleepers into the specific brain states that produce extended subjective experiences. This brings us to the fourth major challenge. How can the average person access these extended temporal experiences without expensive lab equipment? The answer lies in targeted dream incubation, a technique that Harvard researchers proved can reliably influence dream content and duration. Dr. Adam Horowitz's team developed a protocol called Dormio that guides the brain into specific states where time dilation naturally occurs. The technique involves audio cues delivered during the transition between waking and sleep, specifically during N1 sleep, the lightest stage of non-REM. During this narrow window, the brain remains partially responsive to external stimuli while beginning to generate dream content. Here's what makes this revolutionary. Participants who used targeted dream incubation showed measurably enhanced creative performance and accessed more distant semantic associations in their thinking. They weren't just having longer dreams. They were using extended dream time for actual cognitive enhancement. But there's something even more profound happening at the neurological level. Research shows that temporal lobe activity during dreams creates patterns identical to those seen during deep meditative states. The amygdala and hippocampus, normally associated with fear and memory consolidation, become hyperactive in ways that facilitate accelerated emotional processing. Think about this. Buddhist monks spend decades learning to achieve states of consciousness where they can process years of emotional and spiritual insights in single meditation sessions. Most people experience these accelerated consciousness states unconsciously. Advanced practitioners learn to maintain awareness during the process, effectively living multiple lifetimes of experience and growth. Dr. Ljunggren's latest research shows that people who practice targeted dream incubation develop significantly higher dream self-efficacy, the belief that they can consciously influence their dream experiences. And this increased sense of control translates into measurable improvements in problem-solving abilities and emotional regulation during waking hours. But here's the fifth challenge. Modern sleep schedules actively work against accessing these deeper temporal experiences. Research from the University of Surrey demonstrates that just 1 week of insufficient sleep fundamentally alters gene expression patterns and reduces the amplitude of circadian rhythms. When your circadian rhythms are disrupted, your brain loses access to the specific neural oscillations that create temporal dilation during dreams. It's like having a radio that can no longer tune into certain frequencies. The stations are broadcasting, but your receiver is damaged. The solution requires treating your circadian rhythm as seriously as any other performance system in your body. Cardiovascular researchers now understand that sleep and circadian disruption directly impacts heart health, metabolic function, and cognitive performance in ways that compound over time. Advanced sleep optimization involves manipulating your circadian rhythm, using precisely timed light exposure, temperature regulation, and meal timing. Sleep medicine specialists use these techniques to treat circadian rhythm sleep-wake disorders, but the same protocols can enhance normal temporal processing during dreams. Here's something that will change how you think about sleep forever. Your brain doesn't just rest during sleep. It enters a state of enhanced connectivity that exceeds waking consciousness. The default mode network, normally associated with self-referential thinking and mind-wandering, becomes hyper-connected to emotional and memory processing centers. This creates a perfect storm for accelerated experience processing. Your sense of self, your emotional systems, and your memory consolidation networks all synchronize in ways that allow experiencing years of subjective time in minutes of REM sleep. The practical implications are staggering. Imagine approaching a difficult life decision by literally living through multiple possible futures in extended dream scenarios, or processing decades of accumulated emotional trauma in a single night of therapeutic dreaming. Sleep laboratories are now developing protocols that can reliably induce these states. But you don't need expensive equipment to begin accessing your brain's natural time expansion capabilities. Tell me in the comments, have you ever woken up from a dream feeling like you'd lived through months or years of experiences? I'm curious how common these extended time dreams actually are, because what we're learning is that temporal dilation isn't just a quirky side effect of REM sleep. It's potentially the most powerful tool for consciousness expansion that humans have access to. And unlike meditation or other consciousness practices, it happens automatically every single night. The question isn't whether your brain can access extended temporal experiences. The question is whether you're going to learn to use this natural ability consciously. Research shows that people who develop targeted dream incubation skills essentially gain access to a parallel life where they can explore possibilities, process emotions, and develop insights at accelerated speeds. It's like having a personal virtual reality system that runs on biological processes rather than computer code. But there's a sixth challenge that most people never consider: the psychological adjustment required to integrate extended dream experiences with waking life. When you start consistently accessing years of subjective experience during sleep, it can fundamentally alter your sense of identity and time perception. Sleep psychologists are documenting cases where advanced dream practitioners report feeling like they're living multiple parallel lives simultaneously. The extended dream experiences become so vivid and meaningful that they affect decision-making and emotional responses during waking hours. This isn't necessarily a problem, but it requires conscious integration. The same way astronauts need psychological preparation for space travel, people developing advanced dream abilities need frameworks for integrating accelerated consciousness experiences. The solution lies in treating extended dream experiences as legitimate aspects of your total life experience, rather than dismissing them as just dreams. When you live through years of subjective experience, gain insights, process emotions, and develop skills during sleep, those experiences deserve the same respect and integration as waking experiences. Advanced practitioners keep dream journals not just to remember dreams, but to track the accelerated personal development happening during sleep states. They notice patterns, integrate insights, and actively use extended dream experiences for problem-solving and emotional growth. But there's something deeply unsettling that recent research has uncovered about these extended dream experiences. Scientists working on digital immortality and consciousness uploading have made a disturbing connection between natural dream time dilation and what happens when human consciousness gets transferred to digital systems. Dr. Paul Smart's research at Southampton University suggests that when minds are uploaded to computers, they naturally experience time at dramatically accelerated rates, similar to what happens during REM sleep. Think about the implications. Brain-computer interfaces are advancing so rapidly that companies like Neuralink are already testing direct neural connections. But researchers discovered that digitally uploaded consciousness doesn't experience time the way biological brains do. Ray Kurzweil and other futurists believe we'll achieve digital immortality within decades, the ability to upload human consciousness to computers and live forever. But here's the terrifying part. Uploaded minds experience subjective centuries in what amounts to seconds of real time. Imagine being trapped in a digital system where every second of real time feels like years of subjective experience. Your consciousness would be running at superhuman speeds, but you'd be aware of every moment passing with excruciating detail. The same mechanisms that allow your brain to experience extended time during dreams could become a nightmare when consciousness gets separated from biological constraints. Digital minds wouldn't just think faster, they'd experience time at scales that could drive them insane. Recent papers on algorithmic immortality warn that uploaded consciousness might face existential torture, experiencing millennia of subjective time while being unable to die or escape. The very feature that makes dream time dilation fascinating could become the worst form of psychological imprisonment imaginable. This raises a crucial question about the extended temporal experiences you're having right now during sleep. Are they preparing your consciousness for something much bigger? Or are they a warning about what happens when we try to transcend biological limitations? The research suggests that your brain's natural ability to dilate time during dreams might be evolution's way of training consciousness for states that transcend physical reality. But it also reveals the potential horror of consciousness expansion without biological anchoring. If you made it this far, drop dilation in the comments and tell me, would you want to experience years of conscious time every night, knowing it might prepare you for digital immortality? Or does the idea of accelerated consciousness terrify you? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because the conversation about consciousness, time, and what it means to be human is just getting started. The next video that'll pop up on your screen is going to explore territory that'll challenge everything you think you know about the nature of reality itself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.